We all have one standard when we hit the water, and that's to fish better. Here at One Standard, we've got you covered. On today's episode, we're sharing tips for fishing fall crappie during that sweet transitional period between summer and winter. While we dissect the behavior of these fish, we'll also introduce yet another brand new bait from One Standard, the Reflection Jig Head. Let's get right to it.
You know, today's one of those days in the fall where I love. You know, that's the time of the year when the fish are really in transition from summer to fall and going fall to winter. We're probably closer to fall to winter right now, just because the fact that we've just kind of been unseasonably warm. So we're gonna go out here, we're gonna get on some structure, we're gonna showcase the new Reflection Head, because the fact that this time of the year, the shad are really, in my opinion, kind of like bright and in all different sizes. You're gonna have big shad out here, you're gonna have little shad, and that Reflection Head just kind of gives you, every time it turns, just a flicker. And that flicker is what I think this time of the year, it gives it just a little enticement to go ahead and eat the bait. So this is a fun time to catch the crappie to where they're moving in and out and cut them off kind of in a pinch point at different structure piles and different things. So it's gonna be a great show. Boy, there's a good group of them sitting right here on this piece of structure. Looks like a tree, maybe. I mean, a good group of them. Like that one right there. Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't get much prettier than this right here. First one of the day, nice little low keeper fish. Got the sun coming up, a little north wind. We're gonna get some bigger ones than that though. There's a better one right there. Now this is a nice fish here. Really nice one. Yeah, boy. I take these all day long. Right there. Old fat chunk. You can tell these fish are really starting to fatten up for the winter. I mean, he's getting it right there, getting a little jelly roll. Kind of looks like me. But this right here is the new Reflection Head. And you can see why it's called a Reflection Head, just because of all the different flat angles on it in different directions. It's tapered on the bottom, it's tapered on the top, still with angles. We wanted a lot of angles to where anytime that fish was really close to it, when he's eyeballing it, wondering if it's real, when you turn this in the sun facing me, it's just giving me a flash. Every time one of those little square boxes hits my eyes, it gives me a flash, and it's doing the same thing to the fish down there, and it's just really been something that's kind of impressed me and opened my eyes to something as small as a little tiny detail and getting the bites it gets. When the fish on the flex right there, you can see them inches from it, and it gets them to commit.
As we've learned during our time on the water with Jeremy, his all-time favorite fishing line is Sunline. Before we head to break, let's check out how he preps his line with his favorite knot to use, the FG knot.
We've got our Sunline coming down here and looped on our handle, and you want a little slack in it. You don't want to have it super tight. Got my FC leader right here. Now this is 7 pound. You know, we're not messing around with little tiny crappie, and we're not messing around in open water without a lot of stuff, debris, iron, boat docks. You can see there I wrap it on my fingers. I want to be able to have some tension to pull back. Your tension each direction is the big key on this knot. All you're going to do is pinch it over the top of your Sunline braid and start going one over and one under. That very first one needs to be pretty dadgum tight, and you need to be pulling out on it. And then after that, you can just take off. And I like to pinch it every couple of times, and so that way it gives it a chance for the knot to uniform in place. And so right there made a really nice, super clean knot. You can see it right there. So now all you're gonna do, take you a pair of scissors and clip your braid. Now, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna tie the braid around both lines, the fluorocarbon and the braid. And that's actually gonna hold it in place so it can't unloop. I'm gonna do that 2 times. I have a tendency to use my teeth a lot because I need a third arm. I wanna pull it tight, and then when you let everything go here, you can see that you have a tag end of your braid and a tag end of your fluorocarbon. Now you're gonna take your scissors again, run it up there super slick next to your braid, clip it off. Now you could actually use it like that and it would hold tight, but what you wanna do is take about 3 loops around the braid. And what that's gonna do is kind of make like a cushion between where you clip that fluorocarbon off and the end of your knot, so when it comes through your eyes, you don't even hear it. Now that we got that nice and snug, this is about the easiest way I know to tie an FG knot. You can absolutely use the cleat right here on your Ranger boat as another set of hands, and it doesn't get any easier than that.
This segment was brought to you by the brand new One Standard Reflection Jig Head. Head on over to onestandardfishing.com to order your Reflection Jig Head today and start fishing better. While we were on our commercial break, Jeremy made some moves across the lake. Let's see what technique he's using as he navigates this new body of water.
So we've idled down through here along this line, following our contours on our mapping, and we marked just a few things that just stood out on the side imaging. And now we're going to turn around, utilize forward-facing sonar, and see what we found with our side. You can do it a lot faster. When you're idling along, rather than just going and scanning if you're on new water, then idling can be so much more efficient because you can just mark it off to the sides and then turn around and go back and look at it forward facing rather than have to be on the trolling motor the entire time. And it just makes things a lot simpler as far as trying to find a group of fish and catch them and do it all in a timely manner on a new body of water. So you can see here on the Rust Marine Flex, right there's a piece of structure we found. Now a lot of these fish up here moving around chasing things are perch. These crappie are the ones that want to set right down in that tree, and they kind of set a little more mobile. They're not as sharkies like the perch are and the white bass, but you can tell there are definitely two separations in the fish as far as having them grouped up or being separated just by size or class, or everything's kind of got their own pecking order, but you can definitely tell that the crappie want to stay on that structure a little tighter, especially with today's conditions.
Hey Jeremy, given today's conditions, what advice would you give to the avid fishermen out there to entice the crappie to bite?
When them fish stop biting a little bit to where you can't get them to chase it as it pendulums over, slide right up there. You can see on the Rust Marine Flex, we're right, dead over it. And sometimes you just kind of got to squat on top of them. That bait's just sitting there, they see that reflection head and it's just sitting there kind of doing its thing, and you're shaking it and different things, and then he just can't take it anymore. And even like that fish, it's just the conditions are getting to where they're getting a little tighter to the brush. They're not willing to chase. The sun's came up, now it's getting into the morning. But just a 1-2 deal. Throw at them until you get them to start tailing you, and then set up there and squat on top of them with a reflection head and catch you some more. Okay, so we've been catching them out here, pendulum over, kind of winding the reflection head over it, using the assegai, because the fact that it'll kind of fluff your line a little bit. So we've been floating it, they've been coming up and eating it really good. Now they're kind of getting wise to us. It's starting to slick off, you can see, the morning's getting into it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll up here and I'm gonna change the settings, and we're gonna fish right on top of them. We're just gonna squat on top of them, and we're gonna go to our sonar setup, installation, orientation, and then we're gonna put that on down. You can see there it really changes things as far as the way that it looks. So this is the front half of your transducer right here. This is the back half. It's not left and right, it's forward and behind you. And so you can see your feet numbers here. So as we ease up on this brush, we know it's 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot in front of us. Right here is kind of what we're gonna key on. This here's definitely fish, but these bigger fish seem to want to be in this hole right here. And some days they just won't chase it. And that's just all there is to it. So you got to get up there and just set on top of them with the reflection head, and then let it do its job with that little bit of flash to entice them to bite.
Just like Jeremy said, sometimes the fish just don't want to bite your bait. So here's another trick Jeremy has up his sleeve to reel in those crappie.
All right, so we've set up here on them and kind of squatted on them for a little bit. And we're gonna do one more trick here until we move. But right here, been throwing the green shad collar, really, really shadly, really nice looking. And all this is just spiked aerosol. We use it all the time in the bass world, and we're just gonna hit that tail right there. So now you can see that little bit of shine on that tail. Just kind of changes your look, and it's a real subtle change that can definitely get you more bites. Let's see if it'll get one. There's a nice one right there. Now this is where we did and took the color change. Look at that. I mean, that little color change right there made a big difference in the quality of fish right there. This one's probably been down there just looking at it in the group, and when he saw that little bit of color right there on the end of the minnow one, he couldn't stand it. That's a really nice one. Good eater fish. possibly one of those fish you'd throw back, just because you hate to keep so many big brood fish in a lake. You always like to just throw back the really nice ones, you know, take you a picture with it, and then clean a lot of the, not juvenile fish, but young adult fish, and they fry up really crispy anyhow.
This segment was brought to you by Russell Marine Products, your #1 marine electronics experts. See why at russellmarineproducts.com. We're returning from commercial break just in time for some fishing tips about catching crappie on the takeaway.
We got him on the takeaway. You know, he rushed up there, and as you pull it out of that pile, you know, he wanted to kind of tail it. So what we did is we actually sped it up. We call it a takeaway. That way, when he's coming, he's going real slow. You start speeding up, he starts speeding up. You can see everything go down on the Russell Marine Flex. And he just got it about halfway up off the bottom. Really nice fish, especially one for the grease. But that's just a good way to, you see him coming, don't stop the bait. Keep it coming and just let him do his job, because as a predator, he won't let it get away if he wants it. There he is right there, just like that. That's a perfect combination of staying back and making a cast. I mean, this thing hit it like it owed it money. He's got the old Denali boat, and it is for a good reason. Look at this joker right here now. Get up in this boat, old girl. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, today has been a blast catching them on this reflection head from One Standard. You know, today was the perfect conditions for using it too. One of those days where you can go out there and throw a daggum corn dog out there and catch a slab like that. The days when it's tough, you see the conditions here. We've got slick, calm, bluebird skies, post frontal to boot, and the reflection head is made for those days when you want to get a few more bites, when you have to tease them, when it has to be to the fact to where they stare at your bait long times. You know, you'll see all that on forward-facing sonar. So if you can capitalize on it with another tool in your box with the reflection head, why not do it? That's what we did today. It's been great. That is a really big fish. We're gonna turn her loose, let somebody else catch her, but thanks for following along. There's a nice one. Golly, that's a big old fish right there. Got the old Denali boat. Man, and it is too. I mean, that old water's clean. Look at that. Boy, now that's racy. Gosh dang, he got Sharky right there. Whoa, get up here, big old joker, you. Yes, sir, look at that. That's what we're after there. Now, we changed colors on them here. Got the old spilled milk after them, the old minnow one. And right there's the results. You know, these kind of conditions, you gotta almost change by the hour. You know, we went from the green shad to the spilled milk. We've put us on the June bug shardy, but I don't know if we would throw it. But that right there is a really nice fish with just kind of changing the color on the reflection head. So you see all day we've been creeping up here pretty tight on them. I've got them way back here right now, past 20 foot. And we're gonna continue to stay back off of them. With these conditions, they're definitely hunkered down, and I think the better you can do to surprise them, probably the better chance you got to get one to commit to eat the bait. There's a good one right there, and that's the benefits of staying off of them. You know, earlier we were doing it where they were tied together on the down. Look at that big old fish. Gosh dang. If that's not sexy right there, I don't know what is. Yes, sir. Woohoo. Oh boy, he come off on me. Easy, killer, easy, easy. We're gonna put you back. You know, this is a fish here that we're gonna let go. You know, them old big frame fish, it takes a while for them to get that big, I think. Well, I tell you what, now earlier this morning when we started, you know, just like we had the AFCO coastal layer on, these fish were roaming, and then we were able to get, you know, up there, get in amongst them, and kind of get like close and personal. We'd put it on down, and with the down, we were able to just squat right on top of them. And now that the sun's gotten higher, every time we've kind of tried that, they kind of swim out, and they just lay on the bottom. They actually leave the structure. So on this piece of structure, when we moved, we stayed back. And you can see on the Russell Marine Flex, we were back 26, 28 feet and making a longer shot at them. And what that did was allowed me to just let the school stay comfortable. And the conditions change by the hour, just like your clothes change by the hour, and just like they change by the hour. So don't be afraid to keep mixing that up. Start out a long ways away. If they allow you to get up there and squat on them, do it. But if not, just stay back. And the conditions, you know, they're gonna really dictate that. If it was windy and cloudy and things like that, a lot of times them fish are just really fired up and they don't even care that you're there. But today's conditions, it's absolutely glass calm. And they just, when you get up there, they can see the shadow of that boat, they can hear you, even though we're being really quiet and we've got everything turned to a minimum, they know you're there. So keep that in mind and don't be afraid to just experiment hour to hour to hour.
This segment was brought to you by Beatdown Outdoors, #1 in quality, performance, and reliability for all of your electronic needs. We're coming up on the last few debut fish catches with the Reflection Jig Head. But before Jeremy calls it a day, he's switching up his color presentation one more time.
We're gonna change them again. We're gonna go back to the green shad, because the fact that this Reflection Head having so much flash to it, but at small increments, it's kind of the same way with this green shad. It's got some silver flake in it, nice little iridescent back, blends really well together with today's conditions, but you can see all that sparkling together as it turns, and that's just going to kind of work in conjunction. It's not one great big flash like a spoon or a blade. Every little piece of the bait and the head's doing its own thing, but just makes it look really lifelike when you're down there moving it in front of it. There he came. Just took that second cast to kind of get him to commit. Another big old frame fish. You know, gosh dang, look at that. He can jump like a bass. I mean, that is a big old white crappie right there. Come here, old boy. Let me get you up here. Golly, don't break my line. That's a good thing. I use 7-pound sun line. You know, that's why when you're catching big old fish, you know, you gotta have a rod and a setup that's gonna take it. You know, today we're using the Denali 7-footer in the open water. And I mean, this thing here is a 703 DR, which stands for dock rod, but I really like it when you're catching really big frame fish like that in open water and structure, because when you have that fish and he's in the middle between two trees or two stumps, when I hook him, I want to get that fish turn and come in my direction. And you know, the Sunline braid, the FC leader, is a great setup with that. And then when you get them up there, if you're fat like me, you don't have to bend over and grab them. You can just boat flip a big old joker like that. That is a really, really nice fish, you know, anywhere in the country, because, you know, when you can lay them on your arm like that, they're good enough for me. Go get them, girl. Golly, that's a great setup. You know, something that's pretty big when you're making these long casts, staying back from these fish like we're talking about now, is using the Sunline Ossegai, because I want it to go over their head absolutely as slow as I can today. You know, a lot of times we want it to go fast, so we use the All Might sinking braid. Today I want it to go really slow, and so I think that's one benefit to having different types of line in your braid lineup for the situations that change hourly throughout the day. Golly, that's a big one. He hit it like it owed me money. Man. Now we had to slide up there on him a little bit, but that's why. Big old smart jokers. Get up here. Up in here. Yeah. Man, I tell you what, that gets exciting every time. I mean, now those are big old slabs. Today's conditions couldn't have worked out any better for using the Reflection Head, because it was a day where it was hard to get him to bite. We had to kind of slide up there on this fish and just set it on top of his head and then let the Reflection Head do his job as far as just kind of mimicking that little flash of a bait fish. But we're going to turn her loose and let her go, and I think that's enough.
Well, that certainly was a successful day on the water. If you ever find yourself in tricky conditions with stubborn fish like we saw today, remember to tie on a Reflection Jig Head and watch those crappie do an about face and start tugging your line. Before we close out this show, let's take a moment to learn about the unsung hero of transducers. Beatdown Outdoors is well known for their graph mounts, but have you heard of their zeroed-in, 0-degree transducer mount?
Let me tell you about the great features of the Beatdown zeroed-in mount. It's a really customizable mount that's going to be a true 0 degree. What it does is it goes around any trolling motor shaft just like a traditional one. It'll fit any model. It comes with some rubber spacers to fit any size shaft. And then when you put your forward-facing transducer on here, you've got 22.5 degrees of customization as far as when you turn your transducer head. And then on the back here, the part that's gonna be on the shaft, you've got 5-degree increments as you move that around. You can change it from perspective to forward and vice versa. You can always remember by the numbers that is actually engraved here on the mount itself where you liked it the best. You can change it for different conditions, for different depths of fishing, but you'll always know where to go back to for whatever situation you want. But it's a really slick new mount from Beatdown. It's called the Zeroed In mount.
That's a wrap for today, folks. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms for additional content and to stay in the know for when we release new, innovative products. Until next time, keep on fishing with one standard in mind: to fish better.